Yo guys, welcome back to another Ravy's Naafiri videos, whatever you want to call them. I just want to get right into it. Don't waste too much time here. So I want to talk about the Naafiri rework, give final thoughts basically on it. So basically, since my last video, there's been a lot of changes that have reached Naafiri since you know, what it is going to be on live right now, right? By the time this video gets out, basically the server is down for me. It's gonna be up in a couple of minutes, and I'm going to start streaming right away. So you can check out the stream and to get the live gameplay that's gonna be happening. But anyways, so I want to talk about the mid scope here, all the changes that came through, and what. Oh yeah, I'll just talk about what came true, right? And just keep it there. We don't need to talk too much about what they didn't really what they fixed or whatever. Or maybe I will. We'll see. But so we want to start with the so they talked about this, right? I already read this out. So basically they're trying to just give her more outplay tools instead of like the whole easy simple to play mid lane assassin. They're kind of like changing their approach to that because now they're kind of realizing that assassin as a class isn't supposed to be beginner friendly, you know. But so they kind of, I think they said more about it on Twitter about this, but they're just like, okay, they're kind of throwing that out the window, right? She's still not like difficult as a champ, right? But still gonna have that going for her, right? Cool. All right. So yeah, and they also want to make her be play jungle, but they also said that one of the things here, oh yes, one of the things they want to do is with the W change, right? They basically want it so that you have to choose between if you want more damage or you do want to the dodge abilities, right? And you're gonna lose out on some DPS for doing that. Cool. So when I think about it, it's kind of like how Rengar works, where he has the import Q or import E or import W. Like if you use W, right, or E is less damage, but can be better in that situation, right? So just like to compare it with another assassin here in terms of this. I think Talon also has a thing where his Q does but more melee range too. So or you can do it from range to gap close. Yeah, whatever. Anyways, so the the next thing too is that the here, which is weird, they say the call of the pack now provides a non-ultimate way to refresh your pack on demand. I don't really like this wording because it actually just gives you 2 additional dogs. It doesn't actually refresh your pack as it states here, and those 2 dogs are going to be separate from the ones that you get in your passive. So it's kind of a weird way to say it. I mean, I guess in the early game, right, you technically are getting back 2 dogs, right? Because you only have 2 dogs and you get back, the two until like level 9. But yeah. Okay. So health base stats, right? So we want to talk about these. So this is one of the things that was kind of sad about, but it does make sense because of what we're getting in the W. So the health growth is gonna go down, right? 15 per level. You want to know how much that is. Basically, you can times it by like times that by 6. Then you can times it by 18, and you can see how much health you're actually, right? It's gonna be a quite an amount there, right? But I mean, it's okay. It's not like the end of the world, basically, because you are actually using your W now to dodge abilities, so you kind of can get back. You're gonna be getting back that health. Especially, let's say you dodge abilities 2 times. Okay, so for instance, right, at level 6, right, you'd have like 60 more health, right? So if you're getting that, right, think about it this way. Sorry, not 60. Sorry, you get 90 more health. What am I saying? You get 90 more health, right? So if you have 90 more health, you dodge, let's say you dodge Fizz E. Okay, you know how much Fizz E does a lot of damage, so you're gonna be tankier basically, right? So basically, that's what we comparing it there. The armor growth goes down too, so that is sad. But you know, again, W change is what it is. Cool. It's a fine trade-off. It makes sense. Can't have the same base stats and then have a new ability that just dodges spells and whatnot. Cool. Next thing is the base attack damage going up by 2, 80 growth going down by 0.1. So if you do the math here, right, the same way how we can times this by per level, right? So at this point, right, if you times this by 18, which is max level, it's still gonna be like it's gonna be still less 80 than this. So this is just a straight up buff, basically. Okay. At all stages. All right, next thing is a passive. So we talked about this in a previous video, right? So um basically what is gonna happen here is that I think one of the thing that they did though is they messed they changed these numbers, some of these numbers. So the Packmates, right, gonna be what it is. They didn't really change that since the last video. So I want to talk about this new stuff. So here, this is going down by 2 damage early game and then by 12 late game. And then the 80 is going down. So I was concerned about this, but basically it should be fine. We're gonna see though when we actually test things out. But you have more dogs in the early game, so that is why they're cutting this down. And you will have the R doing a lot of damage. Okay? But yeah, we're gonna get into that. So health growth down, armor growth, armor and magic resist down. Packmate AoE damage taken from 76 to 50% and to 76 to 55%. So dogs are gonna take a little less damage to try to like make up back for it, you know? Okay. Packmate reduce damage from turrets, so Naafiri will be able to take turrets faster. Good, because one of the things with assassins is that assassins like to split push, right? And they can't actually just run and kill people for free, right? You kind of want to like side lane and then create space, roam, put pressure. Sorry, you put pressure on the side lane, then you rotate, get kills, right? Start fights. So if she can actually threaten turrets now, basically, better. So the pot mate will deal bonus damage to monsters. So just a little tip here: if you're playing jungle Naafiri, when you're starting the first camp, try to tank for the dogs. Don't let them die, and also try to use your Q. There is a video out there that shows how to full clear with Naafiri. They're probably gonna add a new one since this change. So once that does come out, you guys can go check that, right? I primarily be playing mid lane though, probably play some jungle, but so I don't, yeah. And those guys are really, really good at what they do. For full clearing, they'll be able to optimize the full clear to the fastest, so you can see the max potential of what the champion can clear. But yeah, okay. Pot made taunt damage, taunt duration. Yeah, this was same thing. They already did that. Now Q minion damage going up from 60 to 80, right? Remember they kind of nerfed the Q damage. They kind of took that back. Oh, we love that. We love this. We can clear waves better. Nice. All right. W. All right. So W now, right? We already know. So I'm gonna talk about the new stuff, right? All of these have been the same. Everything here is the same. Same. The cooldown though, right? They did change it. It's not gonna go down as low as it did initially. It's gonna only go down by 2 seconds. Means that you should never try to ever think about maxing its ability. You shouldn't have been trying to think about maxing it before, but you definitely will not want to see like if that didn't convince you, right? This definitely will, right? Because you're only shaving off 2 seconds off your W to 18 seconds. All right, and you're going to also. Oh yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Um, the mana cost, yeah, 60 or not. Cool. Now the R, there's something they left out in this, but I mean that's fine. So that's where I will try to talk about it. So if Naafiri scores a takedown within 7 seconds, she reveals nearby enemies and recasts his ability once. The second cast grants her heal for 3 seconds. Now, this is a new thing they added since the initial stuff. So basically, right? Naafiri will be getting a shield once he casts a second R. Right? As soon as he casts it too, by the way. So it's not after he hit on cast. So I remember I made a tweet. I did tag August about it. And I said, I feel like one of the issues with when I tested out on PvE was that Naafiri couldn't really like a lot of times you didn't want to R that quickly because it was like, oh, you got to kill, you have 7 seconds to use R. So when I was in the fights, I noticed that a lot of times after I kill my target, I need to run away and kite and then look for an opportunity to R again. And a lot of times my R would just time out on me because you never want to use this ability like melee range. So they did, I did tag him and I felt like he read it. I don't know, but um, and speaking of August, by the way, guys, while I was just streaming earlier, because I was just streaming just now, but I ended because the server went down. August followed me on Twitch, so he knows who I am, confirmed. But yeah, that's nice. But yeah, so I'm kind of happy right now. But yeah, so I want to talk about this though. Continue talking about this. So yeah, so the shield is gonna make it so that if you're in a scenario where you need to R, maybe like you're about to die or something, you can just press R on a champion and just get a shield. And it's a very big shield, by the way. The 1 point, this is 1.5%, 1.5. Sorry. Yeah, 1.5 bonus 80, right? This is a lot. This is a lot. All right, cool. And the shield lasts for 3 seconds. Okay. Now the cooldown, right, compared to the old alts, if we can compare the CD here, where is it? This going down to 100 to 80. So you notice this by a lot, by the way. When I was playing her on PvE, my ult was up quite a bit. And that's why I was also going Axiom on PvE so I could lower the cooldown and your ulti would be up pretty often. Like, you could like get kills pretty quick. Pretty often, like let's say you kill somebody and then you like go back to silent and your ulti is kinda up already. To like pick again. So yeah, this is nice. Alright, let me see what other change they add here. Yes, yes, yes. Nothing new here. Yeah, nothing new here other than this. But there's also another thing they didn't put in the notes. Why? This is why I had to make this video because the patch notes doesn't actually tell you everything. Um, they added something, right? Let me see if I can go find it for you quick. So basically, they added a change where. So I talked about. Well, did I actually talk about it or did they just bring it up? So basically, right, they did a change where the W, right, CD is extended when the R is being channeled and cast. So this change is basically to make it so that when she presses W and then R, she doesn't actually just lose like let's see, like doesn't lose the time that you're taking to like channel the R and then fly to a target, you're not losing out on that bonus 80 during that time. So that is why they added that. So yeah, it's pretty nice that they actually did that because it was really really annoying to just press W and then R and then your R is taking like a long time to go off and then it's like, oh, well, quite a bit of my W was wasted. So with this change, right, it's pretty chill. All right.
Guys, shout out to
Oh,
Jamaican boy.
well, somebody just
Guys, go
followed.
follow him.
Hmm. Okay, I'm trying to find the other changes with Naafiri here though, but I'm not really seeing it. Oh, I think I found it now. SSSS, here it is, guys. So R now extends W duration by 1.75 seconds. Nice, right? Cool. This is what I was talking about. They didn't put that in there. And if you guys notice, right, there is something that they have left out, which is pretty big. You notice the E isn't here, guys? You notice? So I don't know why Riot hasn't update the website though. I think they can do that. I think they should have like, get that done. Fix. The E isn't included here. So I have to talk about the E, right? Now, fortunately, there isn't much change to the E than what it was originally, so I can just talk about it quick. So the range is going up by 100, cooldown going down. Yes, these are all the same except for the damage. So it says here that the E damage went down, right? The base went down from 35 to 15, so we lost like 20 on it. Uh, Wait a minute. I'm actually not too sure about everything here. Yeah, because all right. So I know that the E damage, some of it got reverted, right? The E bonus 80 ratio, yeah. So the E bonus 80 ratio, it got reverted. So this is point five, what point five? Yeah. So that went back up. So her damage in the late game is gonna come back. I think there's another change here just to confirm that. Yeah, sorry guys, I have to be going through all this for y'all. Don't worry. So I'm here. Go through it and get these things here for you. Also, by the way, quick reminder. I should, yeah. Yeah. By the way, Sorelda buff. I will get into this, but basically the ability here. Well, it's actually in patch notes. I'll leave it at that because Sorelda value went up, but also Cleaver value went down. Because Sorelda got buff, but it's not only because of that. All right. Yeah. Yeah, so the E damage is just like the 80 ratio on it is went back up, right? I think there was something else they added to. Can't really remember if they did it though. But it's kind of like it's kind of just mostly that. Anyways, okay, so yeah, that's basically kind of just it, right? For the all the changes that really came true. You'll be able to, yeah, they didn't put that in the patch notes. They forgot about the E, bro. So cool. But I'm here. I got you. Also, next thing I want to talk about too, right, is so you guys may be wondering, like, did the runes change? Did build change? For the most part, not really. Runes for sure did not change, right? The only thing I could possibly imagine being more valuable is probably, let's say, Halo Blades in like melee matchups. But Halo Blades in melee matchups was already like decent. I don't really like going to Halo Blades though, but there's a lot of people that do, so I do mention it. I think Halo Blades in melee matchups could have more value, right? So do look out for that. I'm gonna be testing things out though, so you'll be able to know. But Halo Blade, like the reason why I mention it is because you can have more dogs in the early game, so you could be able to actually use it. But remember, if you're in a melee matchup, you don't have w like if it's a range matchup, right? You don't have the dash to get to them. So you kind of this is for like melee matchups where you can just E onto them with your and use W to dodge your spells and have additional dogs. you just win early fights in melee matchups that have to walk up, right? So that's what I was thinking. But at the same time, right, the dog's damage did get hit, so maybe that could also just be fake, and you just focus on using electrocute because electrocute just gives you damage, right? Just additional damage, and just like do a lot, and it's very more versatile, and it scales pretty well too, because you're not reliant on using like Halo Blades melee range. Like sometimes you can't really get melee range. You want to throw a double Q, pop the enemy. Cool. So runes for the same part kind of just stays consistent. If I say anything, Comet might have gotten a little worse because you kind of lose damage on the dogs there, right? So the poke style plus the fact that the taunt duration on them is lower, so Comet could just look a little worse just from that. But I mean, I wasn't really going. I don't go Comet much these days. I only go Comet for like if I need resolve to survive like a Syndra or a Oriana matchup type of thing. Okay. In terms of other items though, is I mentioned Cirilla value went up, Cleaver value went down. So the reason why that is because the R does a lot of damage right now, right? A lot. So because it does so much damage, the initial this part basically 350, 120. Because it does so much damage, like if you were to ult somebody with armor, Black Cleaver is not going to work too well here because like this big damage that you're supposed to do is gonna get most of it is gonna be mitigated, right? When the dogs do come in afterwards, right? Yeah, you can shred some armor. If you're able to Q the enemy first, right? Then R, sure, like you will get Cleaver value. But because of this, right? Because so much of the damage is front loaded with the R, cleaver value went down because of that. So you want to get Cirilla more often now, if anything, right? Now, as for the other items though, still the same. I think Axiom value do go up, right? I think Axiom is already good with the old Naafiri. I'm gonna call it old Naafiri now because we can't play it anymore, even on NA, right? So the old Naafiri, I think the value of Axiom was already good, but I think with the new one it's higher just because you can get the ulti back more often, right? So if it's gonna be like even at this stage, right, it's 95 seconds compared to not what 95. Well, I'm gonna use this one, right? Because this is level 11. You can have two items by that time. So if you compare that to this, which is where is it? Yeah, 110. Like it's like it seems very small, but it does really add up. It really does. Especially if you go like items like Ultimate Hunter. Now, obviously, I didn't really take Ultimate Hunter a lot, but I probably won't. I may or may not take Ultimate Hunter more though. But it did feel cool on PB. So, anyways, this is yeah, it's gonna be looking really low in the late game. So that's why I kind of said Iceland Valley kind of went up if you can like use it to like just hunt people down. Plus the fact that your W is an ability that like can dodge stuff, like if you can lower the cooldown on that too, like Axiom here that it gives the stats, it gives really good stats. So yeah, like it's gonna be chill, right? Now the concerns though is that the R can be cancelled and still, right? You can't be blocked, but it can still be cancelled, whether with channeling it or like when you're traveling mid-air. So I will say that you want to be extra careful not to get your R cancelled because if you do get it cancelled, you are going to be in so much pain. I swear, this is the biggest concern with the new Naafiri. The R doing so much damage, right? But if it's so still can be cancelled pretty easily. It's still the same, right? So if this does get canceled, it may cause you to be very frustrated. I say that might sneak up on you. Maybe you're trying to in a very close like 40-minute game, and then you just get canceled by the most random ability, and then you're gonna be so mad because you gotta kill them within 7 seconds to get the refresh to go kill somebody else, but you lost the ulti. You lost your damage, right? So can you kill them in 7 seconds now? Because a lot of times I be trying to kill people in 7 seconds and I can't, right? Because heal, flash, fire, whatever. So yeah, can't play fights too slow now, basically, or when you engage. But when you engage, you can't play too slow. Like, you still want to play slow if you can't get a good R, right? But so that will be something guys got to look out for very much. So yeah, Edge and Knight still Edge and Knight value still pretty good. Might be more valuable considering the fact that your your actual dash ability does damage now. So if it does get canceled, you're kind of cooked. So um, yeah, I feel like for next patch though, what I'll probably try a little bit more is I might try Ghostblade into Axiom. That's kind of what I was doing on PvE a couple times, right? So that will be chill. You can also try Spear Sojourn for. I mean, Spear Sojourn was already being built. It's just that since I don't really like Cleaver that much, and plus Sorella got buffed by the way. So Sorella gives more armor and less ability haste. So it's gonna be worse as a second item, but it's gonna be better versus like tankier champions. So champions that get armor. So that's how you actually should be building Sorella. It's just that an inferior is a little different because you can actually like slow people with your Q and dogs. So it was kind of like a little different when it comes to her. But since the ability is going down, I think Axiom second might just be what I'll be trying out. And then going from there I can do Sorella, and then I can do like Edge and Knight, stuff like that. So but you can still do Sorella second too, right? Depending on what you're facing. So yeah. Um yeah, somebody asked me if Eclipse value went up. It's kind of the same. It's not like Eclipse you want to build versus like champions that are more on the tankier side. So yeah. So the items overall just stay the same, right? Eclipse versus if I'm against like a Renekton mid, like people be picking that versus me, right? They got like a tanky team. Maybe their mid laner build rather ages and their jungler is like a HP building champ, and then top lane and then maybe like the support. Yeah, I go Eclipse over Ghostblade. Otherwise I usually just like going Ghostblade because I can just that Sword of Dirk spike is really big. You find a jungler at level 6, when you just hit level 6, you're like level 5. You find them, they're dead for the most part. Cool. So yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to talk about with the changes. Oh yes, also remember the W gives you more 80s. So the thing here is that you may want to use the W to get more damage on your R, but a lot of times you may want to save your R, or sorry, save your W to after your R so that you can use the dodge abilities. So this is where the skill uh expression will come in, knowing your damage and knowing if you should use W before or not, right? And then using your W for which abilities you want to dodge. That's the thing too, because sometimes they may have two valuable abilities you want to dodge. You got to choose the right one, you know. So yeah, and I'm pretty sure you can cast W while root, just like how Vlad is. So like maybe if they root you, you're like, okay, I'll tank that, but then they chose something else. You go, like imagine Nico, right? Imagine you dodge your E. Sorry, you don't dodge your E and then you dodge your R instead with your W. Just like throwing that out there like as a example. Not saying that you always want to do that. Don't get it twisted, okay? Or don't misunderstand. Okay. Anyways, so yeah, I'm going to just wrap this up and put out this video in a couple of minutes. So this is I'm saying hello to y'all. If you made it this far, hello, hello, hello. Have fun with the new Naafiri. And we'll see how it lands though. See if our win rate is too good, hot fix, or if it's too bad, hot fix and buff. We'll see. I think it's gonna be good though. I think it's gonna be fun. Like right now, there's been a lot of things that they add that makes it a lot better than what it was initially. The only thing that I'm still worried, a little worried about, is the fact that the R with the R, the damage is so tied to this in the later stages. But I mean, just gonna have to work with that and get around it. Also, remember, I want to tell you guys a little trick too with the W. The W, by the way, can use it to uh avoid turret shots. And let's say you kill somebody. Let's say you dive, kill them, and you're underneath the turret. You can press W. If you have dogs with you, well, you're gonna have dogs because of W. You the dogs will actually tank for you. So I should be able to show you guys that on the live server. Because I'm gonna be streaming right after this video goes up, I think, because I'm going to be getting the thumbnail and just posting it. Yeah, so this video is very fresh. I'm gonna be streaming the new Naafiri right away because I feel like I usually stream in the night. I don't want you guys to wait an entire day before you can see, how I actually play with the new champ. So that's why I'm staying up, messing up my sleep schedule for this. But yeah. Anyways, guys, take care. Bye bye. I love y'all. Shout out to everybody that watched this video or support the channel or just like Naafiri. Shout out to shout out to August too. He actually, as I said, he followed. He knows who I am now. So shout out to him, but not because of the fact that he followed me. Shout out to him for the rework, right? I do like how the final changes look, right? And we'll see how it plays out if there's needs nerfs or needs buff, or she's just good. Yeah, but yeah. By the way, I think it's more healthy for the long run to have an ability that is actually usable more often in lane, because sometimes there's matchups where you can really W, like and you guys know how that is, right? I do think that's a form of skill expression, but it's like, it's like whatever, because this one would have more things, more interactive skill expression where you can use it in more ways. Okay. All right. Take care, guys. Love y'all. Bye bye. See you guys on the live. Yeah, hopefully. All right. Bye bye.